Chapter 7. Sowing the Seed. We have learned so far that thought is creative, that while we may think what we choose, our thoughts are governed by immutable laws, that the universal mind or energy is the basic fact of all existence, that there is but one power or principle pervading the entire universe, and that through our subconscious mind, which is a part of the universal mind, we may condition our life in exact accord with what we would have it to be. Now we will find out how we obtain good results through our thinking processes. When you want to raise cabbage in your garden, you plant cabbage seed. If you want beans or corn, you plant these respective seeds, and you are very careful to select seeds of the best quality. You plant these different seeds in the same soil, but you know that the perfection of your harvest depends on the quality of your seed and your careful attention during their growth. You are never in doubt as to the nature of your product, because you know that where you planted corn, you will gather corn, and where you planted beans, you will harvest beans. We sow and grow and reap our thoughts in exactly the same way. We reap what we sow, in kind and quality with exact precision. The law of compensation will not allow us to sow thoughts of one kind and reap the fruits of another. We can be absolutely certain that we will express outwardly the results of our predominant thoughts. Everything and everybody is governed by the same law, and we should not expect to reap riches from poverty thoughts, happiness from miserable thoughts, health from disease thoughts, or peace from angry thoughts, any more than we would expect to gather tomatoes from gourd vines. We sow our thoughts in our subconscious mind, and the law of growth brings them into visible expression. If our thoughts are positive in faith, desire, courage, determination, cheerfulness, and love, our physical condition and environment will express these qualities in health, happiness, and prosperity. But if our thoughts are fear, hatred, envy, anxiety, grief, or jealousy, we will reap these results in poverty, disease, and misery. Every time you think, you start a chain of causation that will create a condition in strict accord with the quality of thought which originated it. Whether we have success or failure, it comes by the operation of exactly the same principle. The principle is unchangeable. Its operation is exact. We use the same principle and the same substance to bring either good or bad results. It is the seed you sow that decides the nature of your product. Let us use another illustration. Imagine everybody as being a miniature manufacturing plant. Our raw material is the limitless, inexhaustible substance of being. Some of us turn out beautiful homes, automobiles, fine raiment, health, happiness, and everything else our hearts desire. Others work harder, are not so healthy, and gain a mere competence. Still others manufacture for themselves poverty, disease, and crime. Yet we all use the same substance or material. Neither are we restricted as to quality. The supply is always equal to the demand. But we must make the demand and supply the kind and quality of seed or idea. Thus, if a so-called sinner sows seeds of love and faith, and a so-called saint sowed seeds of fear and bigotry, we should not blame God because the sinner harvests peace and plenty, and the saint reaps bitterness. The divine mind knows neither denomination nor creed, but works for all men impartially and in justice and love. God's universe is a universe of law and order, from its smallest expression to the circuit of the solar system. God is law. Man neither makes nor breaks the law. He works with it or against it as he chooses, and he reaps the pleasant or unpleasant results of his own decision. There is nothing either mysterious or religious about it. It is simply the law. Let us remember that the universal mind, eternal energy, substance of being, and universal life principle all have the same meaning. However, the terms used will not matter when we understand that they mean God as the divine principle which rules the universe. The word principle comes from the Latin word meaning beginning, fundamental truth. What I really like about this chapter is that Dr. Bloodworth continues to reiterate not only the fact that thought is creative, but our thoughts are governed by immutable laws. And she does touch upon some of those immutable laws, such as the law of growth, the law of compensation. And I think that's important too, because typically the discourse as it relates to creating the life you want, etc., tends to focus solely on the law of attraction when there are a lot of other universal laws that impact the quality of our lives. So she talks about the importance of choosing the kind and quality of the seeds or thoughts that we plant into our soil of consciousness. And I think this is important. And hopefully, if you did the exercise that I suggested at the end of chapter 2 of keeping track of your thoughts for a week and beginning to notice the patterns, this really will help to drive the point home that if you saw certain patterns emerge or certain patterns surface, maybe that you were not aware of, that you want to change, well, it's about improving the quality of your thoughts and the seeds that you're planting so that you reap the harvest that you desire. And you can expect to reap a particular harvest because you know that the types of thoughts, the types of seeds you've planted will result in their kind. Dr. Bloodworth continues to use biblical verses in the book, which I also love. And especially in recent times, I've begun to really study the Bible more deeply. And one of the things she talks about in this particular chapter is God is no respecter of persons. So if there's someone who we consider to be of unsavory character, but they're producing certain results in their lives that seem desirable, they're probably working with the law. There are certain ways in their thinking that they, may be adhering to that are producing those results. Conversely, if we see someone that we consider to be the salt of the earth and such a wonderful person, but there are aspects of their lives where they're not demonstrating or displaying favorable outcomes, then they may not be working with the law in a favorable way. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this chapter and on the book thus far. Please share in the comments below. My name is Corin. This is All Is Well Lifestyle. Thank you for listening.